Most people have never heard of Travel-Dealz.com, but I've personally used this website to save money on travel for years. Today I'll be talking with the editor-in-chief of Travel-Dealz, Ditmar Lange, the dude behind the website. We'll go deep into how they actually find their deals, why travel is seeming a little more expensive in 2025, and how to actually use their website to book smarter and cheaper. Hey there.
Hi.
Good to be talking with you today, Ditmar. How does Travel-Dealz actually find its deals?
Well, it's a combination of different things. We use Google Flights. That's a big help. We also have some APIs that we get from Skyscanner and Kayak and sites like that. We also always look a little bit on the other websites if they found something that we didn't see. And I actually watched one of your videos, and that Kiwi thing is also not bad that you suggested. It's pretty good. But yeah, the thing we use most of all is Google Flights.
I have to admit, same on my side. It's just fast and efficient.
It has so many good features like the map and everything, and the flexible search that it can search within like 6 months and stuff, and the tracking the flights. It has a lot of useful features, and it's more precise than others. For example, the data that we get from Skyscanner often has like mistakes and everything that shows prices that aren't available. Google Flights, you don't have that just as often.
Totally. So your editors use Google Flights a lot, which makes sense, right? It's a very fast and efficient tool. But do you have any other kind of internal tool that you've developed that you're using that differentiates you from other websites or something like that?
Well, as I said, we have this, we call it the fare collection, where we get data from some sites like Kayak and Skyscanner, but also from some airlines like Condor or British Airways, Qatar also. But as I said, the problem there is that it's often full of mistakes, so we don't use it quite as much. Sometimes it can be helpful, but it's not as helpful as Google Flights, because you lose a lot of time with fares that just aren't truthful.
Understood. Like cached fares that can't actually be booked anymore.
Yeah, or sometimes it just shows you the ticket price without the taxes and everything, and that's just ridiculous. So it will show you, I don't know, from Barcelona to Tokyo for 200 euros, but that's it's actually 600. So yeah.
Last week I was just in the Canary Islands, and there's so many websites that will show you the local Canarian fare that's 75% less than the real fare. So how should travelers best make use of Travel-Dealz.com?
Well, I think Travel-Dealz.com is perfect if you're flexible. I mean, if you think I want to go from Hamburg to Japan in August, then Travel-Dealz is maybe not the best place, because we can't just give you things that will drop the prices that are there. But we're the ones who are every day looking, where is a good price right now? And then we'll maybe see that there's a good price from Barcelona to Buenos Aires, for example, and in September. And if you're open to exploring a bit of other options, then it's perfect, because you get really, really good prices. But you have to be flexible, either in the destination or the travel period. People who want something very specific, they're not gonna be so happy. But everyone who's open-minded, they can save a lot of money. And it doesn't only have to be on flights, it can be on cruises, on hotels. We also give a lot of advice on how to use your miles as best as possible. Sometimes you can save a lot of money buying miles, for example, or points. Often hotel chains like IHG, Hilton, or whatever will be selling points. And we then always look, can you actually save a lot of money using those points that you bought? And often it's over 30% of the normal rate that you'd be saving just by buying those points. Those are things that the normal person doesn't necessarily know about, think about, but it's our job. It's what we do every day. So we find these things and we put them out there. We're completely free. There's absolutely no cost in going to our website. We don't have any memberships or anything. We're 100% free. So anyone who's just flexible and wants to see what can they do for their next trip or everything, just come to Travel-Dealz. It's a good place for inspiration as well.
Totally. Yeah, personally, just as someone who's been traveling for a long time, I'm always looking for free travel blog style websites, basically. And I think it was 2019 when Travel-Dealz started up. Ever since then, I've just been kind of following closely and impressed. It's one of the best out there in what it's doing. And one thing that I just have to point out that is really great on Travel-Dealz that kind of just got me coming back to the website even more often was this United Excursionist perk. It's basically like a huge map that goes over everything really in depth, more than any other website I could find. And I mean, all of the stuff you went over is very high quality on Travel-Dealz, but that one in particular, I actually have another video where I go in depth on how to use the excursionist perk. And you were definitely a resource in making that video and also just in booking my own travels. I love the excursionist perk. So
That's good to hear. Yeah, you have to be really in depth in that to even understand it. Yeah, these are things that can save you a lot of miles, a lot of money. We love posting that kind of content.
what should travelers know about finding super cheap flights and airfares in 2025?
Well, the first thing is that they're not going to find as many as they used to, especially airfares. We don't see them a lot anymore. We used to see maybe like six, seven per year. Now it's more like two or three. And the prices in general have also gone up, like the flight deals or everything that we're posting now. On average, I don't have a precise number, but from feeling it's about 200 euros more than it used to be 2 years ago. And let's not even talk about pre-COVID. It's just a colleague of mine was saying the other day, remember those times where we used to open Google Flights and it was like, oh, here's like 10 things we can post. Now every day it's like, maybe if we take one, you get like two or three things, but it's not like it used to be. The prices have gone up in 2025, and that's a shame, but yeah, it's reality.
I've been feeling that too, to be honest. I mean, I've been booking a lot of last minute travel lately, like really too much. It's just due to my own lack of planning, to be honest. But up until a few months ago, I was still able to find some kind of deal to go somewhere after wherever I was. But actually, this past trip, just last week, I almost didn't find an affordable way to get back home in that case. But yeah, finally I found something, but it felt like weeks and weeks of searching instead of just, I don't know, going and finding one deal that was already ready on Travel-Dealz or just searching for an hour or two for something. What tools would you recommend to complement Travel-Dealz when using the website?
Well, we keep getting back to Google Flights. I mean, even on our website, when we post a deal, we always tell people to check for availabilities on Google Flights because we have our own calendar, but maybe people want to go 1.5 months to a place or something, or very short. So they always have the most up-to-date availabilities and everything. So that is the best tool. Other than that, you don't really need much. For example, the ITA matrix that you also mentioned in one of your videos. Yeah, you can use it, but we already use it, and the information that you get from there, we already put it in our deals. So there's no real use of going there again because we already did. So yeah, we try to actually offer a very complete experience on our website. We give you the information about the miles that you'll get. We give you the map of where the flight is going. We give you like everything. You don't really need much. Other than our website. That's what we try to do. Our deals are more in depth in that sense. Other sites often just like put like one link and that's like and a screenshot and that's it. We try
Right.
to actually give you like the whole rundown, what plane you're gonna be on and everything. So that saves you the time of having to use other tools.
Yeah. So that brings us to another question I have for sure, because I don't know. Maybe this is somehow stereotypical, and I'm so sorry to everyone for saying it. But when I go to traveldeals.com, I think about the German version of traveldeals.de, and I think about German society that has a lot of order in general, basically. You've got like charts and graphs, and everything just feels really in order. It's clear, and you get at least enough information, if not some extra information. And overall, for a traveler looking for like a one stop shop that might not have hours on end to be searching on Google Flights, ITA Matrix, or Kayak, I think that's a really positive thing. And that's just another reason that I feel like non Germans looking at travel deals are really in for a treat.
I mean, our philosophy is it's better that we use 5 to 10 more minutes and put them into this deal that we're writing than having 10,000 people or 1,000 people or 500 people, whatever, having to use those 10 minutes, each one of them, just because we didn't put the effort to spend those 5 minutes to add that information. So we try to actually put everything that you need to know in there. Even like the visa information, if you need a visa to get to that destination or everything, we always try to offer everything that you need to know in our deal. Yeah, it's what makes us a little bit different than other sites. Yeah.
Okay, you might have answered the rest of the question already. Let me see. Let me see if you have something else about it, because I noticed that your website, like, you've popped in some more countries over the past few years. What should travelers outside of Europe know about using travel deals?
Well, if you're outside Europe, Travel-Dealz will not be the perfect website for you if you're looking for flights. We focus on Europe. So If there's something very special, we'll post it. But otherwise, almost all of our flight deals are from Europe. But everything else, hotel deals, cruise deals, all these points and mile stuff, this will be interesting to anyone in the world. It's not Europe specific. So I think if you're looking for flights, then yeah, Travel-Dealz is not the right place for you if you're not from Europe. But for everything else, we're still a great website. We even have this. If you go to the top of our site, there's like this Europe and USA button, and if you go to the USA button, then you won't have the flight deals. You'll just have the stuff that's relevant to everyone else. You can even just get our newsletter just for those kind of stuff without the flight deals. You just subscribe to the US or from the rest of world newsletter, and then we just send you the stuff that's relevant for you. So yeah, we're not great for flights from outside Europe, but for everything else, we're still a great website to use.
Where do you think travel deals, so flight deals and maybe other types of travel deals as well, are heading this year? I mean, I know we've established that airfare, just by gut feeling, but also by statistics, if you look into anything, are on the way up. Things are getting more expensive. But do you see any other potential parts of travel that travelers might be able to either get a better experience on in the near future or just book for cheaper somehow?
Well, what we're seeing sometimes is that special like world events will reduce the prices. For example, we had the earthquake in Bangkok, and suddenly the next week there was a lot of deals for flights to Bangkok. And with the situation in the US right now, we're also seeing prices to the US drop a little bit. So, yeah, those kind of things, if you're not that interested, like if you don't care about what's happening in the US and you just say, well, good prices, I'll go, or with same thing with the earthquake situation, then you can actually find quite a lot of deals if those things don't matter to you. But other than that, yeah, it's become a bit more difficult to find really good deals. I mean, there are some routes that are always like a bit discounted for some reason. For example, from Budapest to China is always a route that there's a lot of deals because there's tons of Chinese airlines flying to Budapest, also because of political reasons. And yeah, you can take advantage of those things. But if you have a specific route in mind, it's always a bit more difficult. Yeah.
I always see business class out of either Tunis, Algiers, or Cairo for like just hundreds and hundreds less than it really would be out of any other airport going to Asia or sometimes other parts of the world.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people may not be that willing to fly to Cairo, to Tunis, but I mean, Budapest is right around the corner and it's a beautiful city. So if you combine that with a business class deal to China for like 1,100 euros, it's perfect. And for some reason, those deals have been coming all like for a year or even longer. You can fly a premium economy for 600 euros from Budapest to China to almost any place in China. It's yeah, sometimes you have to take advantage of those things. A few years ago, it used to be Budapest Seoul that was always very cheap, and then at some point it just stopped. So you always have to be on the lookout for things that are worth it right now.
Right. So for Travel-Dealz users, if you're looking for something a little more specific, like say business class flights from Budapest to Asia or something like that, would your best recommendation be just to go straight to the search engine? Or do you think that users might be smarter to just sign up for your email list or maybe a combination of those things?
I mean, if you're looking for something specific, like you just said, then look for it on our website. For example, at the top, we have this like economy class, business class, and all these categories, and you can search for the one you want. You can even filter for a specific destination if you want and see if there's something available. If you're just looking for a bit of inspiration, want to just get the good deals and wait until one really catches you, I recommend using our newsletter because then you can decide if you want it once a week or twice weekly or daily. Then you just get the full overview and you can be like, oh, this sounds nice. And then take a closer look. We also have a WhatsApp channel where we post all of our deals. So there's a wide range of options to get our content. We're also on Facebook. But yeah, I think the most useful one is the newsletter.
Cool.
And that's the one where we see most people coming back. It's just a good overview. It's a good mix of deals. You don't only have flight deals, you have the whole flights, cruises, hotels, whatever is cheap at the moment. Sometimes we'll go 5 days without a cruise deal because there isn't one, but then there's a good one. Some people might be interested. even people who never took a cruise. It's a very good place for inspiration as well, where you maybe think of, I would never have thought of going to that place, but this sounds really nice and the price is great. Let's try it, you know?
And it comes back to the fact that you don't actually charge people any money to go onto your website. That's the bottom line of what really differentiates you, because there are other websites out there that have even existed for longer. I don't know. We don't have to take specific examples right now. There's a ton of them, but they've all gone to these subscription models and they want to have you pay, I don't know, $100 a year so that you get notified whenever there's an error fare and all that stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, anytime that you're aware of like an error fare or some other kind of crazy deal that's just, like the deal of a lifetime type thing, you always send it out immediately to your email list, right?
Yeah, for very special deals, we have this breaking email that goes out. And yeah, because I mean, our newsletter usually goes out at 8 p.m. And those deals, they're not going to make it till 8 p.m. because usually those after like 3-4 hours, they're gone. So there we say, yeah, out directly. But it's very special deals. It happens maybe 4 times a year or something. But for those things, yeah, we send out a breaking alert because those are the deals that most people want. I mean, often people write to us, when are you going to post another airfare? And yeah, we can't make them up, it's just, it's going to be there when it's there. But when it is, yeah, directly email to everyone, yeah.
Right. Every time I see Eilmeldung in my email box, because I've got the newsletter in German, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm on it. Okay, so I got one last question for you. What's the best deal you've ever both published and booked yourself?
The best deal we've ever published and that I've booked was a 500 euro business class flight round trip from Copenhagen to Singapore. But I've never flown it though, because COVID came. After a year, they had just canceled the ticket. So I would have, if you want to know the one that I actually booked and used, that would be a business class from Oslo to Beijing with Lufthansa for 800 euros round trip. I even booked that like 2 or 3 times. It was just like one of these companion deals where you have to book for 2 people.
Yeah.
So anyone could book it. It wasn't even one of those things where you have to do it right away and hope that the airline won't cancel it or anything. Just a deal that we had on our website. Yeah.
That is another great tip that I need to add to one of my videos. Always search for 2 or even 3, 4, 5 people if you can't find a deal right off the bat.
Doesn't happen often, but sometimes they have like these promotions. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Ditmar, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. Anything else you want to go over about Travel-Dealz before we call it?
We don't have ads. That's also a nice thing because some free websites, they like put a lot of ads on their website, which is okay if you have an ad blocker, but still could be annoying. We don't have ads on our deals at least and on our starting page. I think that's a nice thing about Travel-Dealz. And the entire mile thing, we have a lot of tools like the mileage calculator, distance calculator, the status calculator, where you can put your flights and it'll show you how far you get with your status. These are not things that are relevant maybe to this topic of finding cheap flights, but they're great additions that no other website does because we're the only website that has this status calculator, for example.
Nice. That's a lot. I think my viewers will enjoy that. All right. Thanks so much for taking the time and yeah, take care.
Bye.
All right. I'll be honest. Travel-Dealz.com is one of the few travel blog style websites that I actually have bookmarked and look at often. There's quite a lot of fluff out there and I don't say that lightly. So if you want to check Travel-Dealz out, I've left a link in the description. And if you want to see more interview content like this on this channel, definitely drop a comment down below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and I'll see you all in the next video.